The discovery in the public inquiry that an estimated 2,900 people were infected with bad blood, which led to diseases like HIV and hepatitis, simply because the British government decided to save money by importing cheaper blood taken from US prisoners, which hadn't been properly scanned and checked, is a deplorable discovery. And it's cheap. It's cheap. And the fact, in addition now, that the compensations have still not been paid out to people who were caught out in this fraud and fiddle by the British government is, again, deplorable. It sets the benchmark of tardy laziness that also colours the Windrush scandal, the post office scandal, and as somebody who is on the haemophilia scale, I take this quite personally. I think I've been very lucky not to have been infected with bad blood, but, you never know, and I'm afraid I really don't trust the systems in place in our country that are supposed to keep me safe, or supposed to keep anybody else safe. Because even when the government is caught out cutting corners and getting rid of documentation, it still doesn't pay out, it still doesn't come clean, it still doesn't own up. It's prepared to do the rhetorical flourishes and to, oh, we're very sorry, oh, how awful this is, and wring its hands. But the only real apology is an apology which is followed up by a cash advance and by a gesture of goodwill. There is no gesture of goodwill in people in positions of authority who are decorated with honours beyond belief, lording it over inquiries and saying, oh, how sad, how appalling, we must do something about it. Well, you've had years to do something about this. Years. Back to the 1970s. And, you would think, in the 1970s, I was still at school. And that sort of puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? That it is years, over 40 years, since the government cut corners. And it's still cutting corners, and it's still trying as hard as possible not to pay up, not to take responsibility. General apologies are not enough. And Rishi Sunak is leading the way in dragging his feet over compensation. And 4,500 modest payments of £100,000 paid out to victims and to bereaved parents, it's not enough. It's not enough because children have their lives cut short by this sort of convenient economy. It's an economy that costs lives, and it's an economy, a decision made by the people who are elected by us to protect us. And I don't think they're doing that. And they're not taking responsibility.